Transmission commencing. It'll work.
You're listening to Comics Podcasting on the edge of civility.
Right. So, eventually we had to get to it. It's a DC episode. It's episode 218 of TMG Cast. Formerly the Mean Geek. Currently on the edge of civility. I'm going to have 2-3 more episodes of that horse shit, and we're just going to go back to being TMG Cast. Call it even.
Going back to it, or just
going to TMG Cast. I can misspeak.
get down with TMG? Yeah, you know me.
Or maybe you don't. In which case, I am Adrian Tech Jedi Hunter.
Too much Gouda.
Huh?
TMG.
Oh my God in fucking heaven. You are the Reverend Mad Duck, Bill McGinnis. Seeing as how you didn't like me inserting your name between
I'm
your
a real
title.
person. I am not a caricature.
Yeah, you keep thinking that.
Yeah, you have cotton doing something.
Nope. Oh, I do now.
I'm not dumb either.
It wasn't good enough that Large Sousa did that for you. You know, I did not even tell him which direction to go with that. He just decided, Reverend, duck, make a damn duck with a Bible.
Duck butt.
Duck butt. I used to wear a duck butt in high school.
You got a whale butt now.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely had a big ass duck ass on my. A lot of people thought it was a mullet. No, it was fluffed in the back. It was a duck ass. No one listening to this will ever see those photos.
Yeah. You were the only 50s greaser in the entire school.
I was, and you know it. Get down, Age. Get down.
Good
Get down,
Age.
Age. DC's for July. Because there's been no news in the past hour and a half.
It's so rare.
We don't give a shit. I don't want to talk about these, frankly.
There's some rough... Well, here's the thing. Like, your highlight for DC is Batman. Batman
should be, yes.
Batman is so weird right now.
Batman 42 has Jim Gordon, who, if we remember, has taken over the Bat Mecca.
By the way, I'm going to ruin this book even further for you.
Yeah?
Jim Gordon,
Yeah?
Guy Gardner.
He does look a lot like Guy Gardner now, and I despise that. You will be getting a very hard smack to the back of the head soon. Very, very soon. Probably before the episode's over.
Guy Gordon?
Can't have you talking like that. Jim is practicing his batarangs when Julia Pennyworth comes down to introduce him to the new Bat Locomotive. Oh, have you met Marvin yet?
The Chipmunk?
Yes.
No.
Yes. He comes out every once in a while, and he never wants to get anywhere near the trap. He hangs out underneath the liquor cabinet, and then every once in a while he scurries over to the chest, but then he decides, that's not good enough! And he goes back under the liquor cabinet.
How long have you had a chipmunk in the house? He said.
At least a solid month.
What?
It's early September. Yeah, at least a solid month. Probably closer to 2.
And how has he not done anything about...
How the fuck do I know? I guess she got bored with his ass. I mean, she brought him in to begin with, and he's like, nah, fuck that guy.
That is the weirdest goddamn thing. Yeah, he's jumped back and forth like 4 times.
Yeah,
like
I don't know.
I can't recall. There's a fucking chipmunk running around the house.
I was sitting in that seat 2 weeks ago reading comics, and I'd catch movement out of my eye, and it'd be him going, oh, you're there. Gone. Like every 5-10 minutes, he'd be like, are you gone? Oh, shit, you're still there. Maybe if I stop. No, fuck it. Hide.
No,
we were talking about
Guy
Batman and having the new Bat Locomotive. Which is, look at that fucking thing.
The Bat Truck?
Yes, that's it. An alert comes in, and he fights the Triad Magneto of the Narrows, which I don't even know what the fuck I was reading there. There's the Chinese Triad gangs, and there's some magnetic person doing some weird shit, so they fight. He has misgivings about being bats, and those are apparently echoed in the city government, as they want him to sit out a particular investigation and just show up to make the collar. It's fine. You can be a PR guy. We know we spent all this money on an assault mecha with rabbit ears rather than bat ears, but whatever. It's fine.
It's hard to build mecha.
It's not, though.
I feel like it is.
It might be, but this is comics. Everything's everything's easy. It can all be done in 10 pages if you really want. With the right captions, you can get by with 4 or 5 panels.
It's a bat suit montage.
For real. Just show up and make the collar. There's some arms dealer implanting radioactive seeds in people that
they're
sometimes...
technology. They just look like seeds. They're so high-end technology, they look organic.
Oh boy.
Which is not science, people.
No, it isn't. Sometimes they grant powers, and sometimes they don't.
No, what's been happening...
It's so fucking confusing,
Guy
man.
Gordon has his first supervillain.
Stop saying that, please.
He has literally got a villain who has taken old gangbangers that he's captured, put the organic techno seed into their ankle, and given them powers for which he now has to fight. And then if they get captured or start to say anything, it cooks them alive.
Yes.
He also manages to destroy the bat truck.
Right off the bat. This thing didn't make a full issue.
He basically drops it on the dude.
Yeah, pretty much. Ugh.
3 horns are lucky. I broke a horn off him. That's why he has 2. Like, the horns were real. Don't give gangbangers horns. Unless you're in Savage fucking Dragon.
You guys can't see me, but I'm squeezing the bridge of my nose in frustration and exasperation. And many of you must be wondering, why are you still paying for this when you hate it so dearly? There are flashes of brilliance, particularly in 43. It's Batman. I can't, in good conscience, and I know this is ridiculous and stupid, and this is exactly the kind of thing that I go on Twitter and rail against every fucking day, but I can't not buy the 2 main Batman books.
Have you ever? When you were buying comics, has there ever been a period where you didn't buy Batman?
No. I started buying comics in 1985. One of the first ones I did was a Batman. And I said, well, everybody loves Batman. This must be great. And it turned out it was okay. But this was the mid-'80s, so it rapidly ramped up. And I just kept going, and now there's ridiculously stupid collector and fanboy momentum in my brain that disallows me from not buying the 2 main Bat books.
You know what you have to do? I'm curious about this now. Like, I wonder what your longest run of Batman is. Like, you've had to rebuy a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it would be crazy impressive. But now that you've been slowly filling in holes and whatnot, I wonder what the longest group of uninterrupted Batman issues is that you have.
That won't actually be difficult to determine. We're not going to do it today, but it will be easy to determine. At any rate, I don't like this issue.
Bunny Batbot is bugging me!
And you know...
Alliteration!
150,000 other people are buying this fucking book, and they must adore it, because it's like the highest selling book there is. More power to them. I would like something else. You know, not everything has to be over the top. Not everything has to blow out all the dials. You can just have a high quality story without the entire city being at risk, without twists that make no goddamn sense, without entire panels missing explaining what the fuck he's doing next.
You
can do it. Ugh.
Capullo is an amazing artist. It looks great.
Yeah, that's all accurate.
It's
that's 100% true.
In the sense that things are, moving. I'm curious who the power-giving techno villain is.
It turns out that that's Mr. Bloom.
Milo?
No. Unfortunately, I would pay real fucking money to see Milo Bloom in a Bat book at this point, because at this point you can't fucking discount it. Anyhow, over to Detective 42. Fucking Snyder. Jim is still lacking confidence as he fights La Mort, 3 jackasses in Day of the Dead makeup.
4.
4?
He hurts one early on. That's why the other 3 are angrier.
Right. Who just happened to cripple the suit. It's just like, oh, we found a weak spot totally by accident. Wank, wank, wank. I suppose, fine. That can happen. You know, it's more like a video game than anything else, but it could happen, I suppose. Bullock has become wary of Montoya, thinking that she must be IA.
Which is ironic, because he is an honest cop. He just doesn't like people who inform on other police.
Right. The rest of the PD dislike Jim Bats as well, and Jim acknowledges that, because he's a reasonable person.
And, well, he's shitty at it.
And he's not very good at it. This is true. Lamort set a trap for Jim, easily, comically disabling him again.
Like, they literally pour 3 tons of water on him. Like, they blow
You would
up.
think that this fucking thing could be waterproof.
Well, my thing is, like, yeah, I don't...
Come on, spit it out.
like, exposed wiring? Really?
It seems that something this over-engineered could have a couple of seals in it.
And now, you know, first off, like, Lamort is basically a face-painted Cirque du Suck. So I don't care about them at all.
I think that's our title right there, Cirque du Suck. Although it might get us downloads from a different podcast listening demographic that we don't really want.
That's so true.
You were saying?
Now he's climbing on a suit. He's going to take the 3 of them on in hand-to-hand.
Well, I mean, Jim is a former Green Beret, so he shouldn't have too much difficulty doing that.
They're friggin' acrobatic assassin bank robbing. Like, who knows? Like,
but he is the hero of the book, so you got to give him a little bit of leeway on that score.
no, he isn't Green Beret.
Wasn't he?
No, because, what's the name? Oh, God, year 1. Oh, my God.
Rangers?
No, because who was the, Flass was a Green Beret. And he's like, and he throws in the back because it's been a while since I've had to beat up a Green Beret.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain.
Huh. Yeah, what do you know?
I could be wrong in that, but I think that that's correct.
So yeah, the suit's dumb, but I think Jim is doing the best he can with
Jim
what
Gordon
he
is
has.
a heroic character. I like Jim Gordon as a character. I'm not, you know, like, I just don't like Guy Gordon. Like, grow a mustache, start smoking, find a dirty trench coat, steal Constantine's.
Steal. That's pretty good. Steal Constantine's. Why don't we go to a fun book? I'm getting tired of whining about Batman. I shouldn't ever have to whinge about Batman.
That is so true.
See, I'm already going back into it. BIZARRO 2. Oh my god. BIZARRO ends the fight at the used car lot by super hypnotizing Tut
That was hysterical. Into a chicken.
into a chicken. Although the daughter is grateful, she later vows vengeance when the hypnotism that makes him think he's a chicken
Doesn't
wear off.
Also, she steps in an egg.
She's, which is just flat out disgusting.
Well, she sees it. I like to imagine her stepping on it.
They visit a Lexmark and a Batman-themed eatery, and they get back on the road to a literal ghost town.
I am embarrassed in how fucking funny this book is. Like,
This is a
I hate
amazingly funny
Bizarro,
book.
but this shit is hysterical.
Poor Jimmy Olsen
He's just
running
like,
around being stuck as the straight man. He's fucking Abbott.
the dialogue, trying to figure out, like, Jimmy constantly trying to get the tone right. Like, it's so good. And the art, like, this is an example of the perfect art. Like,
Yeah.
these mesh so well. The tone and the visualization of it is great. Like, would this artist work with a lot of books? No, not necessarily.
No.
But killing it. I'm actually disappointed that this is a miniseries.
I'm not. I was just thinking that if it was a series of minis, it might last longer and stay funnier than if it continued on in this vein forever. Because everything eventually goes down.
True.
But you'd like a little time so it feels like it lasts longer. Like if you get a 6 issue and then they wait 6 months and they have another 6 issue, well, that's a year and a half that you've loved Bizarro and not been disappointed by it.
Yeah, it's shockingly good.
Can't say about Batman. But
I can make weird noises
It's
too.
such a fun book. I literally laughed out loud. It's very few books make me laugh out loud.
And
I giggle, I smile.
I can't wait for ChickenTut. Like, that's hysterical to me. Born in Arizona, moved to Babylonia, ChickenTut.
Black Canary 2 is a weird fucking book.
You know my theory. This is an anime. Think about it for a second, okay? This is the Americanization of a Japanese anime that somebody didn't really fully watch. You've got a band. You've got a chesty lead character. You've got a 5-year-old with abilities far beyond their mortal ken. You've got a character that was apparently written as a transvestite, now being a girl, on the way they're drawn.
Yeah, that was kind of up in the air for me. I wasn't sure what I was reading there.
All I'm saying is, like, this. It's like that Team Rocket character that was supposed to be a girl and then it turned into a boy or whatever in
Rocket.
Pokemon.
Oh, I don't know anything about Pokemon. I never watched Pokemon.
But it feels like like you've got a band just having adventures where violence happens wherever they play. It's an anime Scooby.
But what's actually occurring in the book is Dinah is teaching the band how to fire pistols when the former bandmate shows up, kicking off a lot of resentment. Dinah goes to a music store with Ditto, the 5-year-old with powers and abilities beyond mortal man, the mute guitar wonder kid, and has a fight with the person trying to abduct Ditto, who turns out to be Dinah's former husband.
Lance!
I totally forgot even existed.
I really hope it's Lance.
It's not going to be Lance. Nope. Think about that. No one has ever done that.
Lex Luthor.
That's not the same as Lance.
Meyer.
What? Who?
Meyer was a character in the 87th Precinct, a series of mystery novels written by Ed McBain.
Which weren't comics. No,
not to my knowledge.
Yeah, see, you'd have answered faster if you knew.
I had to
Yeah. Right. So, it's an odd book. I don't know where they're going yet. I am not even certain if I like it.
This right now is completely cusp. I'm going to speak for you for a second. Like, if it improves, it's going to stick around because you like the Black Canary character.
Yeah.
If it doesn't improve, then this is the most choppable book that you're buying in the DCs.
It
by
is.
far.
Total. It's right up there.
It's on the cusp. Dancing on crust.
Ew. What? Whatever. So, over in Starfire 2. This is a straight-up rescue adventure during a hurricane. Until someone stumbles down a hole revealed by the storm when the storm moves a trailer in the trailer park.
Creating a...
And there's a bizarre monster that comes out.
That seems to be hunting Starfire.
Anytime you have a hole in the ground, there's going to be a monster coming out of it. It's just letter law. There's no way around it. Hole equal... Oh.
No bueno.
Cave equals monster.
I think they're doing a really good job of... the art is great. It's a beautiful book.
Yeah, Lupacchino does an amazing job.
I think they're doing a really good job of making her naivete realistic.
But I'm not sure how much longer I can deal with it, though.
It's really a challenging thing. Like, at what point do you... Like, an innocent character is a very difficult thing to maintain.
Yeah,
like, at what point are you like, no, I'm going to kick your ass, and we're going to make love, and, oh, but I don't know what frogs are. Like...
It's a weird line between innocent and stupid.
Right. And so far, they've done a good job. Like, with her jumping out in the middle of a hurricane to save the bird when she's going off to save people, but they haven't really made that clear yet. It's not that she can't tell the difference between people and birds, but she knows the bird is important to somebody, and she's not sure what the mission she's going on is.
Right.
So there, I don't know if that was intentional, but that's a very clear delineation of bad decision making in a normal way. So they're doing a good job with the character.
Yeah.
So the book is well written. It looks good. But yeah, at the same time, I'm like, how much time do I have for Starfire, the loopy hippie in the middle of friggin' downtown New Orleans or friggin' Florida or wherever she is?
She's down in the Keys. They're over in the Keys.
Cape Canaveral presents.
Is Marvin still out there? You see him still?
He ran up that way. He should not run outside while the mower is going.
Probably a bad idea. Maybe he'll escape one day. We've tried to, like, leave doors open for him and trails of food out the door and things like that, and he just won't fucking go for it.
Well, you do have 3 cats. Like, staying hidden has a lot of logic in Marvin's defense.
Yeah, that
although his running back and forth pointlessly, really doesn't show that.
Well, I mean, if he was bright, would he be a chipmunk?
One chipmunk to rule them all. One
Right.
chipmunk to guide them.
One chipmunk to bring them all, and under the liquor cabinet, bind them. Terrible. So Constantine 2. Although
go ahead.
Although there's a frightening amount of occult exposition, this one felt a lot more like Hellblazer and not a book trying to be Hellblazer, if you follow me. As he wanders into New York City to find a place to trap a demon, which he ultimately fails at doing.
Well, he gathers a bunch of ghosts that he doesn't know to sacrifice to save his own ghosts.
Yeah.
Seeing as he's already partially responsible for their deaths, he doesn't want to add on to that.
Yeah.
This goes really shitty as his oldest and dearest friend ghost, Gaz, who he's known since childhood, ends up being the one who gets friggin' ghost sucker punched.
Which is, more along the lines of, I thought I was clever and I've totally bollocksed it up routine.
So now he's going to consult someone he didn't want to consult because Gaz told him he should, and he didn't, and then Gaz paid for that.
Right.
In classic Constantine. So now he's off to England.
Which is where he really fucking belongs. Not L.A., not New York. The grit of London.
Ugh.
That would be much better, I think.
Yeah,
So, unfortunately, we now have to deal with BATMITE, number 2. Which I was desperate to be a funny, fun book. And it's just weird, and I can see where they want the jokes to land, and it just doesn't work very well. BATMITE frees Hawkman, who we found imprisoned at the end of the last issue. And it starts magically redesigning his costume, but the hench orderlies capture him, complaining about henching the whole time.
Hey, it's a growth industry.
Right. Trauma swaps brains, and they fight, and Mite takes her out, swaps brains again, and gets taken in by a couple he and Hawkman rescued somewhere along the line.
I
don't care.
Like, this is not well done. Like, it's not funny.
It's not funny. The plot isn't particularly subtle or complex, and you can argue that in BATMITE it doesn't need to be, nor should it be, but when you lack the humor you expect from a character as ridiculous as BATMITE, you have to make up for that somewhere else.
But they also, it doesn't feel like he's got a good grasp of the character. Like, the idea of BATMITE traveling for 6 issues and meeting other heroes and having adventures, you could sell that book. But when you get to the fact that you don't really seem to understand, like, here's a guy who can just look at Hawkman, and change his entire body and costume type to whatever he wants, but keeps getting knocked out by gas again and again.
Yeah. He's got the power to do all these amazing things, but he isn't bright enough to stop and hold his breath for a minute.
Yeah, no, it's just not viable, sadly.
The less said about this book, the better. Why don't we talk about Sinestro 13? Awesome! Woohoo! This is an incredibly dense issue, as we find that Saranic went yellow to prevent her from getting the same fate as whatever's fucking over the GL Corps at the moment, which is kind of clever. And I'm trying to stretch out a little bit because
Her father basically turned her yellow, and then her ring disintegrated.
Yeah, which ended up saving her. So whatever. To save the planet, Sinestro releases Parallax from himself and binds it to Warworld. He then executes 3 of the Corps as traitors, but only to cover that Lyssa is the one that was the traitor. Because he has plans for her eventually, of course.
Well, Lyssa betrayed him to kill the Korgarians,
Right?
so that he could go on to even greater heights. Like him worrying about innocence is so not what she wants from Sinestro. Like this is not the goal for Sinestro, is to be worried about small time friggin' people. So, and he's like, well, you're doing it for me, and you'll be handy, and you'll betray me again, and then maybe I'll kill you. And then they make out, which was interesting. So he totally slaughters Traitor. Now, here's the thing: like, if I were to take Parallax and stick him into the dirt, I probably wouldn't pick Warworld.
Yeah, but he needed something to power it so that the generators or whatever the fuck they are that were going to blow don't blow. So, I mean, it seems a terrible plan on the surface, but I'm sure that Bunn has it all worked out where Sinestro will come out.
Well, I'm sure that Sinestro does. And Sinestro does so many cool... Like, what's the name of the new god? I can never remember her name.
Becca.
Becca. So, really?
Yeah, that's it. Becca, Beka.
Orion. Darkseid. Allfather. Becca. Come on! Anyway, so Becca's doubting whether she should even be there or why he's brought her there. And so he once again manages to fuck with her affection by informing her and her alone that he has removed Parallax from himself. And he's like, you have the information, do what you want with it. Because whatever she does, he knows what's going to happen. Because he's fucking Sinestro and he's awesome.
You just adore this book, maybe a little too much.
Dude, it's great. Like, my favorite books right now are apparently villain-led between Darth Vader and Sinestro.
Which, I've talked about this a lot. It's probably not best that the villains have the best books.
Hey, good is good.
Superheroes are supposed to be about the reverse of idolizing the bad guys. Whatever, what.
How philosophical of you.
Well, occasionally I will dip into the deeper realms of thought. Anyway.
Couldn't even pull it off for a sentence.
I don't want to. Eventually, Sinestro sends the Corps out to take over the jobs of the GL Corps. And probably set himself up as Emperor of the Universe as well, I'm thinking.
Wait.
You think? Maybe?
Oh, he's not going
Who's going to oppose him now?
All sorts of people. Like pirates. Everybody who opposes the Guardians. Like, dumb is dumb. Like, I got a laser, I'm going to use it. What are the odds that a space cop with a super ring is going to fly by right this? Oh, there's really good odds. Who would have thought that?
Right. So, over in Wonder Woman 42, Diana and Hesha are out partying their asses off in the club. Which, I guess this is a younger, less strident Wonder Woman. Although she is the goddess of war now, so maybe she shouldn't be hanging around in a club getting groped by assholes whom she then just abuses terribly.
But maybe she needs to be doing things like that, like in focusing on not war to maintain her character.
That could be. That's not a bad viewpoint. Okay, I can go with that. They leave the club where Diana takes pity on a homeless guy, that's much more in line with Diana. But that's where Aegeus strikes, trying to kill her, and of course, he fails. Because he's a noob, he's overconfident, we have no backstory to understand why he's so mad specifically at Diana.
Well, because he should be a god.
Why should he be a god?
Well, because he's the son of Poseidon.
Oh, whoopity shit, Poseidon.
And he's talking to, obviously, what is some sort of evil super god villain thing in a well. So, his viewpoint is flawed. That'd be fair. But his idea of I'm going to shoot an arrow at her. And then she ducks. Like, okay, you are, like, a shitty super criminal. And she ducks by it, let me lift this homeless guy up. Twang!
Yeah, pay attention to what you're doing. How did you not see her bending down? Come on.
We all know that if Wonder Woman were bending down, you'd be paying strict attention.
Oh my God, I can't believe you did that. In his shame and disappointment, he goes back to Strife and bitches for a little while. Diana goes to see Donna again, and Strife lets her out of prison.
Was it Strife or Hesha?
I think I think the costume says that it's Strife.
But didn't it look just like Hesha?
Well, that's the problem with having many women in tight, short dresses with no hair. Let's. No, it's definitely Strife because
look at that.
Because
go
she's
back to
supersized.
Hesha. Right, but
Hesha's just another Amazon.
Or is Strife Hesha?
Maybe it's hard to tell, but no, I'm reasonably certain they're different characters.
Okay,
but,
you can see where I'd come up with that, though.
Yeah. No. It is Strife because of the outfit there.
Right. No, I'm wondering if Strife is also being Hesha and being her best friend for that betrayal down the line.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But then why would you shave your head?
Yeah.
Give that away.
I ain't shaving my head. Fuck.
Yeah, I can't really. I started to be like, thank goodness, and then I'm like, I don't really care. Like, go ahead. Set it on fire. Like, that affects me in no way.
If I had a head on fire, you would be affected.
Only if you were really close and it was got warm.
I would make sure that I got really close.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Superman 42. This thing is straight from fucking 1995, dude.
I love...
Seriously.
The fact that Lois figured it out and didn't have to be told... Like, the better reporter figured shit out. Like, when you think about the fact that for years, the only reason that Superman was able to scoop Lois... Like, later on, they finally got to the point where, like, no, Clark's actually a pretty good reporter on his own. Like, his political coverage is quite telling. But for years, like, it's like, how's your Superman story, Lois, going? It's okay. I've just got to figure out this last thing. I have pictures of him capturing everyone. I'm going to run mine.
Okay.
Like,
I see.
Hate. Pure, unadulterated hate. And then finally she's like, I am Superman.
Are you? Yeah.
Bitch ass. So this was pretty awesome.
The whole thing, there was a couple of things that I was like, really? Zombie composite robots? What the hell am I reading?
Wear your mask so they can tell that you're not you. Which worked for not 1 second.
No. Condesa.
Condescending, really.
Yeah. The blue-haired girl from the last issue details that she's part of a group called Hoarder, which is just... Really, fellas?
Dude, did you have a problem not thinking about Game of Thrones? Hoarder!
Hoarder. It's horrible, is what it is. This group steals secrets. Oh, another secret information fucking brokerage account. I don't give a fuck. They know about Clark. They go to Hoarder HQ and meet Hoarder Root.
Dude, that was impossible to take seriously. Let's not forget, they went by bus over the ocean.
Yes, who is a jackass script kiddie. And for those of you who know anything about computers, you know why script kiddies are very, very bad people.
What is a script kiddie?
A script kiddie is someone who fancies themselves a hacker, but usually uses scripted code created by somebody else to do their work. Yeah.
Are you saying he's a hacker?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Awesome!
At the end of it all, Soups flares again, and I'm already tired of this flaring stuff. Since they've introduced it, he's flared every single fucking issue, and it's become both the Deus Ex and his greatest kryptonite.
Except for kryptonite.
And I just need him to go punch something.
You know, it feels... Here's the cool thing. It's starting to feel like old school Superman. You've got like techno villains. You've got really convoluted plots.
Yeah.
The downside of this is I didn't always love old Superman.
Yeah.
And then the fact that Condescending and Jimmy are starting to flirt, and she's calling him Red, and he's calling her Blue.
That
Blue.
brings... No, I have no need for Red and Blue running around Superman again. I'm betting it's not a coincidence.
It seems unlikely.
Yeah. Over in Batgirl 42. For once, I shouldn't say it like that. I have enjoyed issues of Batgirl. This is a pretty good issue, though, now that we're skipping the whole internet culture garbage. Jim lets Barbara go. Lets her go.
And no.
After after confronting her last issue, admonishing her to stay out of sight. Because Gotham and therefore Burnside are not really dealing well with vigilantes anymore. So being a father and understanding her role and how important being Batgirl is to her is like, look, I get it, but if you get captured, you can't be Batgirl. So go hang out for a little bit, go to school, and then come back and be Batgirl. It's super simple. Of course, that's never going to work. So she gets a piece of equipment from Cater to shut Livewire down. And there's this nice little team-up sequence between Jim Bats and Babs. And when Stewart decides that he's not going to bother being hip and trendy, he can write a damn good book.
He's playing to the youth. I don't have as much of a problem with that as you do. It is annoying on occasion,
it's the
but
frequency of it. It's on like every fucking page in some of these issues.
I thought he did a good job with the father-daughter dynamic.
Yes, that was excellent.
I have a difficult time taking Livewire seriously, for God's sake. That was painful. And, you know, why couldn't Livewire short out the suit, since apparently that's the easiest goddamn thing in the world to do?
She wasn't smart enough to find the weak spot.
Well, that I believe.
That the Lamorts just accidentally happened upon. So whatever. It's better.
It's solid.
I liked it.
Like, Batgirl's fine. It goes from fine to really good on occasion.
Yeah.
I've read far worse. She's still a likable character. The dynamic between her and her dad, and her and Batman, like, so there's some cool things happening there. Mm-hmm. She's more competent than her father, which is an interesting dynamic as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, they could play off that well. Will they? I don't know, but they could. The ability exists. I just don't know what's going to happen.
We'll look forward to it, I suppose. It's not bad.
Yeah.
We'll get through it. In Justice League 3001, number 2, Supergirl shows up. Injustice Lois, which I don't even know how to explain that properly. There's an Injustice gang person inhabiting... Hi, how are you? Let's back
I'm fine.
up.
You're having a seizure.
I'm fucked up. Because it's so ridiculous. Injustice gang version of Lois is inheriting this Ariel person's body. I don't remember who Ariel was because she must have shown up in
the
Justice
original
League 3000.
Which we read like the first of, and that was
after we killed it. She's on a talk show and she spills her entire plan against the Justice League.
Well, yeah, she's like constantly saying she hates them when she's supposed to be working with, like...
Yeah, and that's kind of dumb of her.
Well, this book is being played for humor. There's some cool things with Starro and Supergirl and the relationship. And Guy Gardner's sexuality is some hysterical type shit right now. Everyone hating Superman is so refreshingly insane.
That's fun. The Justice League is fighting all those millions of Starros, and Flash goes to find Starro Prime. But instead he finds Supergirl. Oh, that's right. This Flash is a woman, too. That's right. It's hard to tell in that suit. Because there's no hair. There's... It's very bulky and armor-like, and it's not very Flash-like at all.
No.
It doesn't give a sense of sleekness and speed. See, what I tell you about Marvin? He's not going to come to you, dude. You can't...
Animals do like me. You never know.
Where was I? Who then finds Starro and leads to peace negotiations.
Starro does not negotiate.
Yeah, he does.
I totally just scared the shit out of Marvin.
Did he go upstairs again?
Yeah, he's under the couch.
This is amazing. He won't. He knows what that trap is, and he's totally avoiding it. I don't know what the fuck he's been eating. We have a heart floating around
There's
the house
probably
somewhere.
cat food all over the place, man.
Ah, yeah, cat food. Can they? Never mind. He's getting used to us. I don't know what's going on. I'm cutting
I make
all of
animals
this shit out. This is going cut.
Hack and slash.
Astro City 25 is where
we
we
done with
end up. We're
done?
totally done with Justice League, unless you want to talk about it some more.
No, I think the book, it's uber confusing. We didn't read Justice League 3000, which puts us behind the 8-ball on it.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I'm really missing Beetle and Booster from the end of the other one.
Yeah, I'm going to try to find a few of them. Where's he going? I'm going to try to find a few of them, and we'll try to catch up so these things make fucking sense, because none of it is explained from issue 1 to 2.
It is amusing. It is Porter's a great artist, so it looks great.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of neat things happening. It's just sort of hard to follow.
It is.
And like evil Lois, Dick Superman, like, you know, Batman is barely a character in this thing. Wonder Woman's insane.
But it's fun enough.
Yeah, right now
we
it's,
can keep
it's
going
fine.
with it.
You know, like this is one of the few DCs that I actually pick up, and right now I'm going to continue to. But it needs to go somewhere.
Yeah, a little bit. Let's finish off with Astro City 25.
Continuing the Astro City youth movement.
Right. This is the story of the Hammaker women, known as Hummingbird. It's a generational thing. It's a mantle passing kind of effect. As a reward for defeating an evil god, the good gods give the daughter powers. But evil god slips in a curse that will make her an actual hummingbird.
Awkward.
Little bit. So, very tight, very small, numerous character moments that just jump into you and say, this is a character and this is why you should like her. And oh, look, you do.
Well, here's an interesting takeaway from this book. Like, first off, the youth movement, a new character, great. Love that. Love the fact that, you know, she has the chance to lose her powers and decides, you know, she's going to risk becoming a hummingbird.
Right.
Which is probably not the choice I would have made.
I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't have either.
But here's an interesting thing. Like,
You know what hummingbird sex is like?
no!
Neither do I. That's why I'm not making the choice.
When there's been a lot of books of late where they're going with an all-female cast or a very female-centric cast.
Yeah.
A-Force, one of the X books.
Mm-hmm.
We just saw it in Carol Corps.
Right?
None of them have felt anywhere near as organic as the team up here in Astro City 25.
Okay.
Because all the female characters relating to one of them having the kid and being like aunts, and, you know, it was closer to Watchmen in that sense.
Watchmen? Really?
Think about it for a second.
Yeah.
All the characters, well, one of them has a kid, and they all were like uncles to her.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
You know, it's an organic relation. It's not like, oh, I'm only going to call my female friends and we're going to team up together. You know, most of these people don't have, you know, hero relationships are flawed for the most part. Let's be fair. Like, you know, it's usually, most of these guys don't, like, come on. Cracker Jack, what kind of father would that dude be?
Pretty horrible, actually.
Kid would be, you know, the gymnastics would be very impressive, but beyond that.
Blech.
So, I was really impressed with how well they were able to do. And again, in a single issue, tiny moments, Busiek just kills these little things so well.
He does. It's amazing. And I really hope that this one lasts far longer than the other volume did.
It already has.
Has it really?
25.
There were that few? Ouch.
Maybe it went to 28. Maybe.
Oh, and that reminds me. In 26, they note... wait, which one's that?
That's 25.
That's 25. In 26, they note... August 95. 20 years of Astro City.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
That's
not
pretty
even
cool.
100 issues.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing.
I mean,
but,
maybe there are. I'm guessing, but
you know, if the bonus is that we get better stories more often,
then you take it.
Then you take it.
No, Astro City is a great book. And again, this is another one of those, like, just fucking read it. Don't talk about it. Don't ask questions. Like, I don't know if I'll enjoy Astro City. Do you like comic books? Then fucking read it.
Because you're gonna dig it.
It looks better. It's written better. It's ridiculously good.
And on that note, we're gonna call this afternoon even.
Bless you, fracas!
And away.
The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. Find us on Facebook, Stitcher, Twitter under @TheMeanerGeek. Subscribe to us through RSS.
Or we can be located at our own site, www.themeangeek.com. And most importantly of all, you can find us as a proud member of the Comics Podcast Network.
Email us directly at themeanergeek@gmail.com.
Can I drink now?
You may.